Hi, this is Bill, and this is going to be a quick demonstration of this 50 watt adjustable soldering iron that I got from Hobby Shack. I've actually had this iron for about 3.5, almost 4 years now. As you can see, it's got a fair amount of use, and this is actually a chisel end tip that I've been using for about 1.5 years now. It is worn out originally, and then I replaced it with a $2.50 for replacement chisel tip, and then that tip started to wear out, and what I've been doing is filing down the edge after about every maybe 4 or 5 uses. And not really saying that this is like the best method, but it works for me. It's nice, compact, portable. I could fit this into my pit box, and because it doesn't take up very much space, and it gets the job done. So anyway, I just want to show the methods that I like to use with this. I like to use a real thin wire solder. Just go ahead and I'll tin the tip of the chisel in there, and then for a typical bullet connector here, let me see if I can try to zoom in a little bit more. Try to see what we're doing here. So what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try to solder on one of these little standard bullets with a cup in here. And what I usually like to do is I'll put my third hand in there, and I'll put the alligator clip in the side. And what I'll do is place the end of the soldering iron there. I want to tin the cup, and so I'll put a fair amount, a generous amount of solder to fill in that cup like so. I'll pull that off to the side, and then I'll take this is a typical thick gauge wire. I've went ahead and stripped the piece off here, and then trimmed it, so then I'll need to tin the wire. And I believe this is a 10 gauge wire right here, which is pretty standard for most wires. We'll go ahead and prep the tip here like so. After I get that started, I'll push that onto the wire and just let the heat transfer, and then I push solder into the wire itself and let that pool up and collect. And once that hardens up and it's nice and solid, you can see how that changes color just by touching it on there. Then once I've got that set, then I use this little clip here to hold the wire for soldering purposes. I'll go ahead and release that, and then I'll get ready to solder these two joints together. So I'll do the same thing here. Reheat both pieces until it slides in place. Once the wire slides in place, I just release it and let it cool. And there you have it. That is a soldered joint. So it's real easy to use. That was a 50 watt setting there, and of course if I had thinner gauge wire, then I could use I could reduce it down to 40 or maybe 30 watts. If I had really fine soldering points, I could reduce it all the way down to 10 watts. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So for those who have never used a soldering iron before, I promise you it really is that easy, just like you saw here. If you have any other questions, please click the link on the description of this video, and I'll be happy to address any questions from there. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the forums.